I'm just going to take those out because having them all sitting in there was not really helpful. Eehee. So the ground wire, usually I just, I don't think about it that much, but it was kind of sticking up. I wonder if they pulled it out so there's a little bit extra hanging out. Some of the outer insulation might be too thick, and it is keeping it from laying flat. And we can't just let it be like that. That's not right. Do it right. Ooh. What the heck? We shall see. We'll solve this mystery. I just had 3 students in today already on Thursday. Yeah. There it is, that ugly ground wire sticking up too far. I'll kind of get back down your hole. All right. I was looking for my poker. I could shove it down a little bit. I think it's back a little bit more. But there you go. So now it's just the wire. I think I'll be able to flatten that stupid ground wire. I hate hitting things with my guitars over there. Hitting the desk. All right, we'll see if it sits flat. Yes, it does. All right. Yeah, I think the outer wrap was probably preventing it from laying flat, and that would be just plain no good. Yeah, I was telling the story about this bass. When I got it, it was finished in this color, but it was refinished, and it appeared to be hand painted, or with a brush. So it had a lot of brush strokes, and it had like a clear finish that had yellowed. So it kind of looked cool, but it was just lumpy. And I'm like, man, that's not cool. And yeah, the original owner looked me up and found me, and called me up and wanted to know if I'd sell him the bass back, because I bought it in a store. And I'm like, well, I'm playing it. And he goes, are you a bass player? I'm like, I'm a guitar player, and I write songs and I record bass in the studio. So you're not really a bass player? I'm like, yeah, I suppose. But yeah, I'm kind of using it. I kind of like it, but I'll sell it back to you for, a little more than I paid for it, which wasn't much really. But he's like, oh man, like I was a terrible person for not selling him back at the exact number I paid for it. Like, I gave you an option to buy it, dude, and he passed. So now it's worth kind of a lot more. So he probably, if he really wanted it, he could have had it, and I would have made a couple $100, which ain't that much on a bass like this. So I'm kind of glad he said no. At some point, I'm starting to let a few things go, so I might consider listing this at some point. But for now, I want to play it. And yeah, I did have it set up professionally, because it was, it was kind of fighting me a little bit. And I'm like, I sent it to a guy that could do some fret dressing, get the frets level and crowned perfectly. Oh, all right. Sorry about that. That was kind of. Now it's much more flat as it should be. So, with strings on a bass, I'll just leave them on there a long time. I don't change them a lot. So we'll see if we can get it to go back in there. And here I go, cranking them up by hand again. Pretty exciting video. I know it's silly, silly, silly. But these are the things I do to survive as a musician. I don't have to go work in an office or anything. I probably wouldn't be too good working in anybody's office. But I used to teach school. I used to mow lawns. I used to do snow removal. And I used to play in a whole bunch of, like 7 bands at once, and teach guitar. And, you know, I've kind of transitioned to just gigging, teaching a little tiny bit of guitar repair. And I do some buying and selling. I do some, if there's an estate and somebody has, some guitars they want to get rid of, I will sell them and take a little bit of commission off of that. So and then as like a publishing, as a songwriter, I get a little bit of money off of publishing, and that's kind of cool. It makes you feel like you're somewhat of an artist. At least you're in the system as a official musician. So yeah, when I go to, if I had to get a car loan, I go to the bank. They're like, well, what's your job? I'm a musician, so I don't, Some guys, some people don't claim their work on taxes, and, whatever. I do. And my wife says sometimes she doesn't complain too much, so which is a good sign. But I'm like, well, you could have married, an insurance salesman or something. Which is nothing wrong with that. I probably should have been an insurance guy. Probably would have been a good job. But, she knew what I was. I was a dirty old rock and roller when she picked me. So, ha ha ha. Dirty old rock and roller. She knew what she's getting into. Yeah, here comes. Looks like I got a lot of wraps on that. 4 wraps, that's kind of excessive. But I don't think it matters. It's not hurting anything other than my hands. Oops, wrong way. Crank it up. Yeah, man, this bass rocks, man. This old P bass sounds great, but you could just get a Squier. It would sound, if we did a sound test between this and the cheapest Squier blindfold, I don't think you'd tell the difference. So, having a 60s, an original Fender from when Leo owned the factory, I just dig that. It's more of a personal thing. But as far as function, playability, frets, neck, pickups, I don't know. If you played a Squier, I don't think I could tell the difference. It'd be kind of fun to do a blind test. Man, again, way too many windings, and I just sort of let it go loose, and it got kind of bunched up. So you got to maintain the pressure as you crank it up. Oh, yeah. So hopefully it works. Once we get it strung up, we'll test it. Oh. Yeah, way too many windings on this one too. But I don't think it hurts. E. Crank, 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 crank. So yes, it's Thursday. I've got students till about 8 tonight or 8:30 or something. That's a long day. So Thursday's my big